Okay, so we are continuing on with triangles and trigonometry. The other day we looked at sine law, where you needed to have two angle side pairs. So the problem becomes that sometimes you don't always have two angle side pairs. So there is something called the cosine law. So we're going to take a look at the cosine law today. And before we do that, have to label the triangle first. So the angles or the vertex will be in capital A, B, and C. And of course the sides that are opposite will be lowercase a, lowercase b, and lowercase c. Okay, so for the sine law, it looks like this. It's another equation, a longer equation, and it kind of will remind you of the Pythagorean theorem. We have a squared, if we're looking for the a side, equals b squared plus c squared minus 2 times bc times cos of angle A. That's if you're looking for the A side. If you're looking for the B side, it's pretty much the same thing. So if you're looking for, let's backtrack a bit. If you're looking for side A, you need side B and side C, B and C, and then you need the angle in between. If you're looking for, let's say, side B, then you need the two other sides, minus 2ac times cos B. Then you need the angle that's across from it. So similarly, if you're looking for side C, you need the other two sides, a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cos C. Okay, so when we get to here, it's important to remember that this here, that's a multiply in between the 2ab times cos b. So I just wrote it like this, a little bit separate, so that you can be very clear it's multiply and that you have to follow BEDMAS when doing this. So what happens is, if you're looking for side A, you need the two other sides and the angle contained in between the two sides. So that is something to know, is that you need two sides and the angle contained between those two sides. Let's take a look at example 1 and see how we can apply the cosine law for this. So we have triangle ABC. That means this side is the side A, this one is side B, and this one is side C. And this one, we should be looking for side B, not side A. Okay, so let's start with the cosine law. Since we're looking for side B, that means we need those two and the angle in between, which we have. So it's going to be b squared equals a squared plus c squared minus 2 times a times c times cos of angle B. So if you look at this, you'll notice if you're looking for side B, there's no side B on this. It's only angle B. Okay, so let's plug in everything we know. That's going to be 10 square plus 18 square minus 2a c and cos 40 degrees. Okay, so now I'm going to use a little bit of calculator here. So 10 squared, 10 times 10 is 100, and 18 square is 324. And then I'll just multiply all this stuff together. 2 times 10 times 18. 2 is 20 times 18. And we get 360 cos 40. Okay, so when we get to here, this is where a lot of people make a mistake. A lot of people will go 100 plus 324 minus 360, and then they'll get the answer and times cos 40. But if you're thinking about bed mass, you got to do your multiply first before you do your addition and subtraction. So I'll leave these ones for now. You can actually do them, but I'm just going to leave it, and we're going to look at cos 40. 40 cos. So that's 360 times 0.766. So again, you will want to, you just write down a couple of decimals, but in your calculator, you can keep all of the decimals. This is 3, that's 424 minus. So I'm going to go cos 40 times 360. And that gives me 275.78. So after you do this part, then you subtract at the very end. So I'm going to minus 42. So we get 148.2. It's around 0.22. So that's our b square. And if you think back to your Pythagorean theorem, in order to find b instead of b square, you just take the square root of both sides. So I'm going to take the square root, and you get about 12. 12. Let's go 12.2 meters. Okay, so first thing to do, if you're trying to decide, am I using cosine law or sine law, you look at this one, do I have angle side pairs? So I have the angle side, that's the pair. I have no angle, but I got the side. No angle, but I got the side. So there's only one angle side pair. You can't use sine law. Then you look at here, I have one side, and the angle in between. So that's cosine law. Once you do that, plug in your numbers and make sure you follow through with bed mass first. You're doing that subtraction at the end. Example number 2, we are looking for side A. This one is side C. This one's side B. Okay, so since we are looking for side A, it's going to be a square, b square plus c square minus 2bc times the cosine of angle A. Substitute everything in. Actually, that's not the correct order. B should be 9. So it's 9 squared plus 10 squared minus 2 times 9 times 10 times cos 40. Okay, now we do a little bit of calculator stuff. 9 times 9, u1, 10 squared, 100, 2 times 9, so that's 18 times 10. We get 180 times cos 40. Okay, so I'm going to add this stuff up first because the subtraction here has to come at the very end. Times 40 cos 0.766. So a lot of times people will go 181 minus 180, that's equal to 1, and then times it by this, and then you'll get your side is 0.766. And that doesn't quite look like it would be 0.766 centimeters, considering that this is 10, 9, and then you got 40 degrees in between. 0.766 would be super tiny, and that wouldn't match a 40-degree angle. So that's why you got to follow your bed mass, do your multiplication before you do that subtraction. So we have 181 and times 180, so that's 137.89, somewhere around that. So I have 137.89 subtract 181. So a squared is equal to 43.11. I mean, a, gotta take the square root, 6.57 centimeters. Okay, so this one here, this is 6.57 centimeters. So now so this question is done, but if you wanted to figure out any of these other angles, then what you could do, you have angle, side, angle, side. Now you can use the sine law on this triangle to find angle B. Or if you wanted to find angle C, you have angle, side, pair, angle, side. And you could use that sine law again to find angle C. But for now, this is the end of this question. Okay, perfect. Boom.